The Russian Orthodox Church is clearly the biggest and the most influential religious body in Russia. But how many Russians exactly are Orthodox Christians? The answer is very hard to find, if possible at all. Many of the polls just asked random people on the street a simple question: do you consider yourself an Orthodox Christian? A yes or no question. This allows us to calculate an approximate number of Orthodox Christian population. These polls in different years give us a number of up to 60 or 70%, which is a lot, given a huge number of Muslims, people of other faiths, and non-believers in Russia. The church officials often refer to these numbers when lobbying for some legislature or pushing the ideological narrative. However, both researchers and Orthodox theologians are not at all satisfied with this percentage, simply because the criteria for being an Orthodox Christian are vague. The Church is more than 1,000 years old, and most of its history has been one of the dominant religious, cultural, and ideological powers in the country. Consequently, many people link their national, ethnic, and cultural identity to Orthodox Christianity apart from believing in God. Some of the polls demonstrate that by showing different numbers for people who identify as Orthodox Christians and people who believe in God. There are other criteria, such as whether one attends church regularly, prays often, and so on. Many of Russians attend their local churches once or twice a year out of tradition, mostly on Easter and sometimes on Christmas Eve, but also for baptisms, marriages, or funerals. The church itself does not have clear criteria of belonging. Usually an Orthodox Christian is the one who belongs to the church through observing the holy sacraments. There are, however, 7 sacraments recognized by the church, and not all of them are for laymen. Commonly, a believer is supposed to be baptized as a minimum, which is also a bad criterion because the majority of a culturally Orthodox population baptizes their children out of tradition and superstition, and many would even grow up non-religious. A stronger criterion is whether one regularly observes confession and partakes of communion. An Orthodox catechism lists these two as defining for an Orthodox Christian. The polls that use these as criteria result in 2 to 5% of the Russian population to be devoted believers. Needless to say, the church officials do not use these numbers very often, because what they show is that the Orthodox Christianity in Russia is much less of religious belief than a cultural tradition, national or state ideology.